They're not treating you right, but we're going to treat you right. They're not treating you right. We're going to change it around quickly. Pat, I've been a fan of yours for a long time. I've known you for a long time. You do one hell of a job, and you're pretty popular with these people, I see. Thank you, Pat. Well, maybe I'll say a few words. It's appropriate in light of everything that's going on when you look at all of the statistics, all of the numbers. New York's finest I love, and you're the finest. They just don't let you do the job. They won't let you do your job. That's all it is. So it's my great honor to proudly accept something that Pat's going to give me in a little while, so I'll hold off on the word endorsement, but he's going to give me an endorsement, I understand. And I have deeply and profoundly admired the brave men and women, as you know, of New York City's finest, and I've admired you my whole life. I've watched you do a job like nobody else. Nobody else has done it, and truly, you're the best of the best, and I'm grateful, and I'm very happy that you're here. And we'll have a little fun for a little while, but first we're going to talk a little business. We have to talk business because we have to straighten out our city. Our city's a mess. Every day, the courageous officers of NYPD put your lives on the line to protect the innocent and to put violent criminals behind bars. You protect people you've never met before. You know, I've heard that expression a long time ago, and it always means something to me. You're protecting people with your lives, people that you've never met before. And you've done an incredible job. And the world will never forget the New York police officers who ran into the smoke and flames of 9/11. I was there. Many never to return. We salute the heroes of NYPD, and we salute our law enforcement heroes all across the nation. I was responsible, along with a couple of people that were right in this audience, for getting you some very good and large payments so that we can take care of some of the people that were hurt so badly. Long-term hurt, they call it, right? Long-term hurt. But we got it done, and we got it signed. We got it signed, and we're taking care of a lot of people. And we want to thank our great firefighters also, right alongside of you, right? Our great firefighters. As we gather today, our country is suffering from a radical far-left movement. It's not even to be believed when you see this, what they're thinking. Where do these people come from? Where do they come from? That is trying to defame, demoralize, defund, dismantle, and dissolve our great police departments. It's a left-wing war on cops. If Sleepy Joe Biden were to become president, he would immediately pass legislation to gut every single police department in America. You know that. And probably she's a step worse. She's a step worse. Kamala. I was sort of hoping he was going to pick Pocahontas, but that one there. She of Indian heritage. Remember, I said I have more Indian in her than she does, and I went into it at great length, and I turned out to be right. I have none, and I had more than she had, you know. She's another beauty. Portland and Chicago are the left's roadmap to America, and sadly, what's happened over the last year in New York City. And it's an incredible thing to look at, an incredible, incredible thing. And I just saw somebody here named Rudy Giuliani. Do you know Rudy Giuliani? Where's Rudy? Is he around here? Get up here, Rudy. Get up. What are you doing down there, Mr. Mayor? This is the greatest mayor. This is the greatest mayor our city has ever had. Rudy, come on up here. Come on up. What a great, and he's a man who is loyal and dedicated and tough. He got on television to defend me. He said things that even I wouldn't say. He was brutal. He is incredible. He knew. He got it. Joe Biden's national police strategy will be modeled on the Bill de Blasio catastrophe. It's a catastrophe. No one will be safe in Biden's America. No city, no town, no suburb will be spared. And you see how I did something to help the suburbs of our country last week. A lot of people don't want to even talk about it. But we did something that nobody else would have done. They were ruining your suburbs. They want to ruin it. They want to destroy their housing values and your safety. But we ended it. We ended the program entirely. Somebody said, let's amend it. I said, no, let's end it. The Biden-Harris agenda, and I guess Harris could be bigger than you think in terms of the importance as a vice president. They said there's never been a more important pick, but in the end, it's not going to matter because we're going to win. You know, honestly, we don't have a choice. We have to win. This country will go to hell. The stock markets will crash. Your 401ks are going to be worthless. You'll see what would happen. Crime all over the place. I mean, you take a look at Portland. You take a look at Chicago, and I can name plenty of other cities, but I don't want to embarrass anybody. My agenda is anti-crime and pro-cop all the way, and that's what it's got to be. So in recent months, New York City has witnessed the horrors that result from putting extreme left politicians into power. De Blasio has launched a crusade against, and he really has. He has launched a real crusade against the police, like I don't think anybody's ever really seen. But there are cases that are just as bad. There are some cases radical left that maybe even are worse. The mobs have scrawled disgusting slogans such as "Cops must die." Think of this: "Cops must die," and "Kill all cops." Okay, who would even have thought 10 years ago that was possible? On the side of buildings, they put those terms, and they vandalized St. Patrick's Cathedral, the beautiful St. Patrick's Cathedral, with horrible, horrible statements, horrible phrases. And then, of course, that disgusting chant, "Pigs in a blanket, fry 'em like bacon," right? Remember that? And now all of a sudden, it becomes mainstream. It becomes, oh, isn't this wonderful? They were talking about you. You know that, right? We just can't forget it because we have to bring law and order back to our cities, back to our country, and we're doing it. Wherever we go, we do it. But we have the radical left running it, no good. Rioters have rampaged through Manhattan and looted Fifth Avenue. An NYPD sergeant was left, as you know very well, in critical condition after being run down with a car. A Molotov cocktail was thrown into a police vehicle in Brooklyn. And NYPD's highest-ranking uniformed chief and other officers were beaten in broad daylight on the Brooklyn Bridge, and they're not allowed to fight back. You're not allowed to fight back. You fight back, you lose your pension. You lose your life. They put you in jail, you fight back. No, you got to be able to fight back. I mean, to be one of the saddest, I don't want to embarrass anybody, but one of the saddest things, Rudy, that I've ever seen, Pat, was when they were dumping water on the heads of two of your fellow officers. And I wish they fought back. I promised nothing would happen to them. Because who even knew that was water? Could have been plenty of other things, probably was, actually. But it could have been some very dangerous material, not water. And they didn't fight back. First time I've ever seen that. I wish they did. I wish they did. I wish I could have talked to them. I said, fight back. I swear you'll be protected. This is the left's vision for the future of the United States of America. If they win this election, November 3rd, got to get out, got to get everybody, you know. You know, the Democrats have an advantage because they have certain people that automatically vote. And we're going for New York. You know, we're going for New York. Because we did well last time. You know, New York is not supposed to be Republican territory. It was Ronald Reagan, but a lot of the people left. A lot of the people that voted for Ronald Reagan left. That was the last time. And they voted for Ronald Reagan, but they left. They went on to other places. They got tired of being abused and high taxes and all of the other problems. And we're going to go and run. And we're going to run on law and order. And we're going to run on lower taxes. And we're going to run on doing something with SALT. You know what SALT is? Yeah. Remember Schumer? Schumer said, I try and bring home things to my people in New York. You know what he brought home? Salt. You know, for those of you that don't know, look it up. It's not good. But if they win this election, every city in America will be under siege. You know that. Because the police are good in Seattle, and they're good in all of these different places I talked about. They're not being let do their job. Can't do their job. Their pro-crime agenda The Biden-Harris group will also crush our economy because there is no prosperity in cities that are ruled by fear. And I even think the politicians are afraid. If you look at Portland, the mayor is trying to say, oh, these are my friends. And then he goes in there and they want to beat the hell out of him. And then the fake news doesn't report that. They'll show him standing there with the sound down so you don't hear what they're saying to the mayor. Fortunately, he had 5 bodyguards when he went in, right? But it was very dangerous for him. And I don't know if he's doing this out of stupidity or out of fear, because I think they're afraid, actually. My administration... Sounds like one of my friends. My administration has made clear that the Department of Justice will partner arm in arm with our police heroes, and we're with you all the way, and we'll prosecute all federal violations to the full extent of the law. But, you know, we have to be invited in, unless we do something very drastic, which is a big statement. But we have to be invited in. But you don't need help. You guys don't need help. You have the greatest police force in the world. You have the greatest in the world. All they have to do is tell your top people to do your job. And you're going to do it properly. You're not going to do something in excess to what you need. But they want to tell you, do your job. And you're not going to have any crime in New York. It's going to go down like it did with Rudy Giuliani. It's going to go down so fast. That happened quickly, Rudy. That didn't take too long. That didn't take too long. You know, he looks good enough. Let's draft Rudy. You better be careful. He'd win it. He'd win very easily. Because people want that back. They want it back. That's why I think I really am. I'm putting it into play. Most people would say, oh, you know, spend your time at other places. But I'm going to put it, we did very well. We did incredibly upstate, Long Island, all of the various, Staten Island was great, right? Staten Island was great. By the way, Joe Rose is a disaster. I will tell you that. I hope they get him out of there. He's a total lightweight in many ways. But hopefully get Joe Rose, get him out. Turns out he's another beauty. My administration will also increase funding for police so that we can hire more police officers nationwide. We're increasing funding very substantially. And in many cases, they don't want it. They want it put into a different group. I said, what's that group all about? And it's called socialism. And it doesn't work. Never will work. By contrast, New York City voted to defund the police by $1 billion, if you can believe it, even after experiencing the bloodiest June in nearly 25 years. It's dismantled an elite team of crime fighters, that crime-fighting unit that your friends, you know who they are. They were incredible people. They were making us all safe. Nationwide, they were making us safe. And we got to get them back. We got to bring them back. Hopefully they don't get a job for too much money. Tell them not to look too hard, because we're going to bring them back. We'll get them back. They're the best. Rudy started that. They're the best. Joe Biden and Kamala, they always say Kamala Harris, have a plan to spread this mayhem to every community in America. Now, in all fairness to Joe, he doesn't really know what's happening. They say, Joe, we're going to spread it around. Oh, okay. You know, this guy doesn't answer any questions. They're complaining. He gets up today. He made a statement. You know, I just did an incredible deal with UAE. You saw that, right? Everyone's shocked. Even the New York Times said it was an incredible deal. Can you believe the New York Times? I can't even believe it. Thomas Friedman, they wrote an incredible editorial. It was a great deal. So we did this deal. Nobody else did it. In fact, we were at a huge deficit because of the horrible deal that Obama made with Iran. Gave him $150 billion. Billion, not million. 150 million's a lot. That would be too much also. 150 billion. Then gave him 1.8 billion in cash. I broke the deal. I terminated the deal. But we made a deal, UAE and Israel. And Sleepy Joe got up and said, he made the deal. I said, whoa. No, he actually, did anybody hear that? He actually took credit for making that deal. For a change, I'm being praised all over the world for making that deal, and that's just the beginning. But he actually took, I think they just said, say this, Joe, say that you made it. It's like it was Obama's economy, right? Before the plague, we had the greatest economy in history, greatest economy anywhere in the world, let alone ours. And now we're building it back up very rapidly. You see the number? But they were taking credit. They said, oh, this was Obama. He said manufacturing would never come back. That was Obama. Manufacturing's come back big. In fact, even 2 days ago, they announced incredible numbers. When asked recently if he favors cutting police budget. Biden replied, yes, absolutely, but I'm not sure, honestly, he knew what he was replying to, so we don't. Yes, absolutely. Oh, what did I say? What was I referring to? You could use that clip for a million different things, right? Yes, absolutely. You never say that as a politician. You always finish out. Biden has been described by police as, and he described the police, you saw that, as the enemy. He said it's the enemy. Kamala Harris applauded LA's recent decision to slash its police budget. And LA really went to town on it. You saw that. Millions and millions of dollars off the budget. After the riots in Minneapolis, Kamala encouraged Americans to donate money to the so-called Minnesota Freedom Fund, which bailed out rapists, assaulters, and murderers. They bailed them right out of jail. Biden's staff donated to the same fund. This is, look, we can't lose this election, okay? We can't lose. You know, we're building a big wall. We're building the wall. It's up to almost. Look at her. She's all excited about it. Well, we're building it. It's up to 280 miles. We'll be up. That'll be completed. You're right. I like her. No, you're right. And you know who liked the wall, the southern border? You know who like it the most? Hispanics. Because they know the area, they know what comes in, and they want to be safe. They want to keep their good jobs. They want to keep their beautiful houses. They've done well, but they know the area the best. We're doing great with the Hispanics. As San Francisco district attorney, she chose not to seek the death penalty against a gang member who killed a San Francisco police officer, going against the wishes of the officer's wife, going against the wishes of the police. In his Unity Manifesto, written with socialist Bernie Sanders, is another beauty, Bernie. Crazy Bernie. We got names for all of them, no? Which better, Sleepy Joe or Slow Joe? Tell me. What is it? I go back and forth. Okay, let's do it. Who likes Slow Joe? Who likes Sleepy Joe? That's what I thought. I got all these guys telling me, oh, you ought to do, we don't like Sleepy because it's rude. They said it's rude. I said, you know, we're talking about the President of the United States. I can tell you one thing. Putin and Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, they're not sleepy. We don't have to say, we're never going to say sleepy or slow. And we can't have slow, sleepy people dealing with them either. Because we were doing very well against all of them. All of them. And we have a good relationship now. Remember North Korea? We were going to go to war with North Korea. Obama would have been in a war. Millions of people could have been killed in that war. Where's the war? Everybody said Trump will be in war in the first week. Where's the war? In fact, we're bringing people out of the endless wars. You know, the wars where they're doing your job. They're policemen. And that's great. But they want to fight. They want to win. We didn't let people win. Bring them back. We shouldn't have been there in the first place. So we bring them back. And what we're doing is bringing them back with great dignity. It's incredible what's happened. We've totally rebuilt our armed forces, $2.5 trillion. We've given you hundreds of millions of dollars worth of equipment. Pat, you know that. Hundreds of millions of dollars worth of equipment came out of, it was collecting dust, right? It was Army surplus stuff and all the different, it was beautiful stuff. And Obama didn't want you to have it. They said it made you look too strong, too tough. You look too military. So they said, let him get shot. Much of it was protective equipment. You know that. All of the protective. I released it all. I gave it to all the police departments all across the country. And I have had more thank yous for that. And someday they're going to have to explain why they didn't want to do it. And this was sitting there. It was not going to be used. A lot of it was new, but it wasn't going to be used. And I said, give it to our great police all over the country. We did, and it's been great. And just to finish up, I call it the manifesto because Bernie Sanders, he was going to make an agreement and they were going to go a little bit further right. They didn't. They went further left than Bernie was. So in the manifesto, Biden pledges to abolish cash bail. How about that? No cash bail. No bail. Meaning that violent and dangerous criminals would simply be released after arrest. New York tried this insane policy and crime surged nearly 25% in New York City, and now it's up much, much higher than that. This is an old statistic. It's up much higher than that. So nationwide, the Biden plan to abolish bail would release over 400,000 criminals on our streets. So all I'm saying is this: we have the greatest police departments. Go outside of it. We have great police. We have great forces. They have to be allowed to do their job. And you're going to have, and I've seen Pat, and I've seen you, you're going to have a bad apple. You're going to have somebody who makes a horrible mistake. You're going to have somebody who has a bad moment. But it may be just a bad apple. We've seen it. But that doesn't mean we're going to close up our police departments and, like in Minneapolis, tell them to run, leave. Did you ever see anything like that? Where they left. We can't ever let that happen. We sent in the National Guard 5 or 6 days later. We waited. Within 1 hour, the whole thing was, you never heard of anything. On the monuments and statues, you saw that? They were trying to rip them down. They ripped some down. I immediately signed an order that if you get caught ripping down a monument or a statue, you get 10 years in jail. 10 years, not... And I don't know about you, I haven't seen too many statues being ripped down lately. They were going to have a march on Washington. They wanted to rip down statues. I said, so wait a minute, you're going to rip down statues, you're going to go to jail for 10 years. I signed it publicly, very publicly. You got to let them know, otherwise it's not fair. You know, they get 10 years, they didn't know about it, right? Wise guys. So we let them know, you get 10 years in jail. And this is not, I took an old law, because they don't do those laws today. Today, get that through the House. Tell Nancy Pelosi, we're going to give somebody 10 years. She's terrible. Look at what's happened to San Francisco. Look at the tents. Look at the homeless. She ought to go home and clean up her own city. But take a look. But it's 10 years in jail. They were going to have a big march on Washington. They were going to come down and knock down. They had them earmarked. And as soon as they announced that, nobody showed up. It was amazing. Big march, nobody showed up. They said, no, we're going to do it the following. That was a Thursday night. We're going to do it the next night, Friday. Nobody showed up except 4 people. They all got arrested because they were the 4 people that the media had on top of the statue of Andrew Jackson doing damage. Almost got it down. And I'll say something. The Washington, the D.C. police were great because they had the ropes. You saw the ropes. They were ready to pull it down. They were all set. And our guys said, stop it. And those guys ran in, and that thing was over. Those Washington, those D.C. police did a job. That wasn't like, they did a job. So we're going to give you back your stature. We're going to give you back your status. I hate to say it, but it's been taken away. We're going to give you back the right to be New York's finest, the finest of all time, the greatest of all time. And we're going to win on November 3rd. And the people that didn't love Trump, never Trumpers, I mean, a lot of them are saying, I'm starting to like Trump a lot because they see what's happening. And we're going to give New York a real shot, and I think we have one hell of a shot at doing it. I just said this morning, the New York Post, which has been great, the New York Post had a cover story about that. They came and interviewed me at the Oval Office, and they talked about law and order in the city. And I said, I did very well, Republican-wise. I did very well. We did great. And I really believe that solid core of people has to be real. I mean, first of all, they're leaving. A lot of them are leaving. But they have to be disgusted with what's going on. So I said then and there, and I said it today. I put it out today strongly. We're going to go and give New York a real shot. I think we have a real chance of winning New York. But we're going to give you so much of what you're looking for. Because I know exactly, it's so easy. You need leadership, you need money, you can't defund, it has to go the other way. You need equipment. But what you need more than anything else is your dignity and respect. You need respect, you need your dignity back. And this guy has taken your dignity away and your respect away. And I am telling you, on November 3rd, you're going to be getting it back like you haven't gotten it back before, because this is really a referendum. So I want to thank you very much. And Pat, thank you very much. Fellas, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much.
USA! 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 USA!